What's up, believers and non-believers and people that pretend to be believers but are actually non-believers? Whatever. We got an episode today of the Atheist Experience that we're going to look at. They're talking to this guy from the UK, and the reason why I picked this is because this guy is going to call in and say there's a bunch of evidence for God. A bunch. And then they're going to be like, what is your evidence? And rather than just simply saying the evidence, he goes off on a thing, they try to nail him down, and then it gets a little weird. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. I'll stop it from time to time. Hope you enjoy. Like the video.
We've got another caller from your side of the pond, Ian. Jules from the UK is calling in, who apparently has proof for God. So welcome, Jules. How can we help?
Hi, Matt. How are you doing? And your dear friend there.
Ian Rowland,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Joe.
Listen, how come? All right. So first off, if you don't know, Matt Dillahunty is really big in this circle, in atheist debate spaces. He's on a lot of atheist programming that's out there, produced by mostly in the past the atheist community of Austin, but now he's on a newer channel called The Line. Actually, they've been around for a while, but anyway, call-in show. Believers, non-believers call in. They talk mostly, they want to talk to people that believe in a God because they want to ask them why they believe in a God and just, try to get to the bottom of that. Anyway, so Matt Dillahunty's super well known. Ian Rowland, known to the channel, gives some great feedback, whenever, people come with, their beliefs. So let's go ahead and play this. But I don't know why people always acknowledge Matt. They call in and it's like he's a superstar to the people that believe in a God because they call in and they want to speak to Matt. And this is like the worst picture of them ever. Let me just move this a touch. Anyway, they call in. They always want to speak to Matt and they never even barely acknowledge the other person. So, good on this caller, Jules from the UK, for even acknowledging the existence of the second host.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. There's quite a few. I've been
Ian
listening
looks so
to
happy.
some of your shows, Matt, and
there's some background stuff going on.
Sorry?
Are you at the pub?
His name is on the screen. I don't understand why they never know what the other person's name is. But just look at the screen. It's right there. I'm looking at it.
No, I'm in a home, actually, and we've got young people talking in the kitchen.
All right. We can hear it.
Yeah, it's like basic courtesy. I know I'm stopping this a lot. I'll try and stop. Basic courtesy, why are you going to talk on the phone around, in a noisy environment? That's just rude.
So I don't want them to say anything that they wouldn't want us to hear, so.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so in terms of you asking for evidence, yeah, Matt?
Yeah.
I am a bit puzzled. I'm a Christian, and I have experienced and seen evidence for myself. But when I listen to you and you say you want evidence and you continue asking for evidence, some of your statements, the things that you say, it sounds contradictory. So I will just, if you don't mind, I will just reiterate one of the things that discussion that you had with Stuart Nicholtil. I can't pronounce his name. Strong evidence for God. I can't hear you, by the way.
That's because I'm not talking. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So, I swear I almost snorted on that one. This dude is just talking endlessly, loving the sound of his own voice, and I kind of know the feeling. But he's going on endlessly and not even really making any point, taking his belabored ass time to try and get there with all sorts of and I thought I was bad at that. But this guy is deep in meditative thought because he apparently didn't think about this shit before he called. And it's not like he hasn't been on hold for some time and already talked to somebody else about what he was going to talk about. I mean, come on, they have call screeners. Oh my God, people just make things so irritating. And then they wonder why the hosts get mad at them.
Okay, I have a question for you, Jules. I have a question for you, Jules.
Please.
Instead of us talking about a conversation I had with somebody else, why don't just you and I have a conversation along with Ian here? And since you said you have seen evidence for yourself, then why don't you just present to us the evidence that you've seen for yourself, and then everything will be solved, right?
Yes, I would do
Cool.
that. But the point that I'm trying to
Jesus Christ. Why not just do that? Why do anything else but that? You come to a show with atheists and you say, I have proof for God, or there's a lot of proof for God. And you know that if you believe this, if you believe in this proof, you would be rushing to say, hey, no, look, it's right here. It's this thing. It's look at that, or like whatever. And Jules is trying to like keep it secret. Like he can't show you.
Because as somebody who asks for evidence, you have stated before that.
You want to know why I think he and others that call into the show do that? It's because they're standing on hollow ground. They don't have anything. They don't have real evidence. They never do. This show has gone on for like decades. And they always say the thing that we want you to do is call in and say what you believe and why. And, you know, we would love to be convinced. You know, we just need the proof. We need the evidence. We need some semblance that what you say is anything close to real. You know?
Even if God was to come down and reveal himself,
Yes.
you wouldn't believe.
No, that's no, Jules. That is absolutely not what I said ever. I've never said that. I've said the exact opposite. I said I would absolutely believe, but I would not necessarily worship.
Follow. Yeah, you wouldn't follow.
Correct.
Yes, you wouldn't follow or worship. And so
Correct.
This is the thing that you see. All right, so let's analyze this, because if you...
All right. So one common mistake that people make at this point whenever they're talking to him or anybody else, because I'm the same way. It's like if there was some all-powerful thing and it had conclusive proof and it's all-knowing and all-powerful and knows what is on my heart and, you know, understands everything that I am as a person, including what would be convincing to me, then it should be relatively easy for that God to cook up something and be like, hey, here you go. And I'll be like, holy shit. Oh, I'm sorry, God. Like, you know, it would just be that easy, right? For God to do that. However, God doesn't do that. And if there was a being that came down and, you know, displayed powers of turning water into wine and walked on water and loaves and fishes and rose people from the dead and leprosy and all that other shit. Even if that being, that entity did that, that still does not conclusively prove that that thing is the God that we have all been hearing about. It could just be some all-powerful alien from elsewhere that's like, oh, these people believe in, this is another planet of things that believe in something all-powerful. Let me go down there with my higher level of power and technology that they think is like magic or the spirit. And let them worship me. I think that's the premise of Stargate. Yeah, that's the premise of Stargate. I'm gonna push up my nerd glasses on that one. Anyway, but yeah, so Jules here can't separate the idea. What I am ultimately getting to, I'm a long-winded person. I'm sorry. Hopefully that's why you're watching this. Hopefully that's how the money gets made. Subscribe. Anyway, Jules, I don't believe he is able to separate. Do you believe that the thing exists? And do you believe that this is a thing that you should worship? Like, I think he conflates those two things. So let's check this out.
Was convinced that God came down and revealed himself to you, you would then be in the position where you've now realized that you're wrong about God and his existence. And so you now believe that he's revealed himself.
Yes.
But you wouldn't follow him or worship him.
No. Correct. I don't know why we have to keep repeating this. I've already acknowledged all of that. Right, are you going to present the evidence that you've seen for yourself or not?
Yeah. Do you mind if I could just finish?
Well, I see, we're pressed. We have like 7 minutes left. Here's the thing. I'll answer this really quickly. It's possible for me to accept that there is a queen that I am a subject to, and for me not to respect or give a flying fuck about the queen, and certainly not bow and curtsy to a queen. I can believe there's a God and not bow or curtsy to that God. That's all I'm saying. But I haven't seen evidence of a God, and no God has come down to try to convince me. You say you've seen evidence. I'd love to know that. Why are you so obsessed about whether or not I'll worship when the first step is to convince me that I could believe? Because if you demonstrate to me that a God is real, maybe I'll worship.
Yeah, but I would move on to what my experience and my understanding.
Fine.
But the point why I'm drawing up these points is because no matter, for what I'm gathering from you when I listen, is no matter what evidence you do see, it's not going to even convince you to then follow, or as you have said, worship. And so my thinking is, logically, if somebody was God was to reveal himself,
Jules, why is this an issue?
Yes,
are you going to present the evidence that you've seen yourself, or are you going to keep harassing me about having a reasonable position that any being who demanded worship couldn't possibly be worthy of it?
No, I thought we will have a conversation. I thought that you said you would like to have a conversation.
I've already answered your question. You are just now.
This dude, and I'm sorry. This is a lot of religious people. It's like, can we just get to the fucking matter at hand? Can we just get to that instead of waxing on poetically or taking me through every little nuance of whatever? Can you just let's sum it up just a little bit?
Repeating your frustration that I don't want to worship a God. I'm asking for evidence of a God. You're either going to present it or you're going to keep harping on this thing that makes me hang up. So would you present your evidence that you've seen for a God?
Okay, then now let's go on to the evidence. Okay. Right. So my evidence is, there are many evidences. It's not just one. So in terms of, sorry?
Give us your best
one.
Did you say something?
Give us your best
one.
My best one. Frankly, one cannot say, "Oh, this is my best one," because in terms of coming to evidence of any matter.
All right, listen. To the religious people of the world, if you want to be taken seriously, do not do what Jules from the UK just did. Just have as honest a conversation as you can. I have an episode. It's scheduled to go out, midnight tonight. Or did it go on last night? No, midnight tonight. And it's Pastor Eugene. So if you want to search that one, search for Pastor Eugene. And it comes out tonight, so I don't have the link to put into the thing. But yeah, he had an honest conversation, and that's a pastor calling in. That one was really interesting. This one is just kind of annoying. But I'm going to let this one play out. Just a little bit left, and then I'll stop it.
You build evidence that
Jules.
Waiting.
Jules, you now have 30 uninterrupted seconds to state the evidence that you've seen and to stop him hawing around and talking about how there's many evidences and one cannot frankly say one is 30 seconds. Present your evidence or go away.
Please.
Well, now, okay. So one of the evidences, when I was I was engaged, And the person who I was planning to marry, I was very much in doubt of whether I should marry the person because of how the relationship was.
I remember this
so being
one.
a Christian, when I was a Christian then, I prayed to God.
I'm going to play a little more of this.
And I asked God in my mind, I didn't pray out loud. And I said, God, please show me. I need to know, give me direction of should I or should I not? And so as I prayed, and I prayed in my heart.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there. And this one goes out to all the religious ladies of the world. If you knew that, and because you listened to this show, and let's say your husband called in and they were talking to them, and they said, I wasn't sure if I wanted to marry this person, but I prayed to God to guide me. Like does that do anything for you? Really? God had to be like, oh, hey, by the way, no, this one. Does that, I don't know, maybe for like the super religious, maybe that's something desirable. I don't know. Like, I don't like a role playing. I don't know. But it sounds a little bizarre to me that, he's about to get into this marriage and he has to ask something that does not, by all accounts, exist. by any measurable empirical measurement, it doesn't exist, and he's going to talk to it.
Not speaking out loud, and I said, God, from your Bible, I want you to show me clear cut what you want me to do. And I said, I'm going to open the Bible because the Bible was closed. And so I'm going to open the Bible.
By the way, you hear this like a billion times. It's just some dumb shit people do because the only thing that they have is this book. And in their minds, the only way that God can really communicate to them in a tangible way is through the book. But when you really kind of think about that, aren't they using the book in the same way one would use, say, a Ouija board?
And I need you to show me. And as I finished that prayer and I opened the Bible opened up, and the first thing I read, it says, "Thou shalt not marry any woman in this place."
Okay, stop.
And this was taken.
Jules, I said 30 seconds. I gave you 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Okay, listen, in that case, whoever was soon to be Mrs. Jules, that book did you the biggest favor in the world. I mean, you might have kissed that book every day because that prevented you from having an entire life spent with fucking Jules.
So you were wondering if you should marry somebody. You prayed and asked God. You then opened the Bible and it said not to marry. And you took that as a sign from God. And you think that's your best evidence for God, right?
Yup.
I said it's one of evidence.
We asked for your best. So what was the what was the verse that you read? Chapter and verse.
The chapter and verse? It was from Jeremiah. I can't remember the chapter and verse. I will have to look it up for you.
Gosh, it must not have been impactful. You got it. You think you got a direct message from God and you can't remember chapter and verse? How weak is that? This was
many years ago, Matt. Many years ago.
Yeah. I think that if I got a direct message from God, I'd remember it. Let me tell you a similar story. My grandfather was approached by some people trying to sell him a well, an oil share. And he sat down and he prayed to God and he opened his Bible and the passage that he read said, invest your money. And he took that as a sign from God and he invested his money. How do you think that turned out?
I don't know how that turned out.
It didn't turn out particularly well. He ended up losing his money. You don't know what would have happened if you would have gotten married to that other person. You have no way of demonstrating that this is in any way a message from God. And it's completely unimpressive because I have played this game before I can open the Bible right now. Here we go. Let me ask a question. Matt? Should I hang up on Jules?
Matt, can I?
Hang on.
Matt,
Should I hang up on Jules? Here we are, Isaiah chapter 10. Woe unto them who decree unrighteous decrees and who have right grievousness which they have prescribed. You are the one who is decreeing unrighteous decrees. You are claiming that you have got a message from God without being able to demonstrate it. To turn aside the needy from justice and to take away the right from the poor of the people, that widows may be their prey. So this ties into your thing about marriage, because now we're talking about a widow. It is absolutely asinine to play this game and think that you've got proof of God.
Yep. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's like a little bit left, but no, there's no point. Like the guy doesn't get any smarter. You know, he doesn't go, oh, you actually made a good point. That doesn't happen here. Anyway, but that's the video. Also, you know, got some merch. You can pick it up. I got some other channels. You can go there and watch. They're different subjects, political, religious, and then just a fun one because the other two are really serious. But yeah, go pick up some merch like this shirt that I have on right here. We got the hide and seek grand champions. We got this kind of biblical looking guy and this lady here that I don't even know how to describe this without just directly mentioning who the characters are, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, but yeah, so what did you think about the episode? If you liked it, give it a like. If you liked it and you want to see more of it, then you should probably subscribe to it. That would just make sense. Anyway, and if you have any suggestions on things that I can watch, definitely put that into the comments. Anyway, people, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. See ya.